Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're opening up the playbook on a really key skill for any company secretary, and that's communicating with debenture holders. Now, if you've got an exam on the horizon, you're definitely in the right place. We're going to walk through exactly what you need to know to nail those questions. So, here's the game plan. We're going to kick things off with the one concept you absolutely have to get right. Then we'll dive into the golden rules of communication. After that, it's all about the practical stuff, the four main letters you'll be dealing with: allotment, interest, conversion, and redemption. And of course, we'll finish with a super handy checklist so you can walk into your exam feeling confident. Sound good? Let's jump in. Okay, first things first, we need to lock down the single most important idea about debenture holders. Seriously, if you understand this one thing, everything else we talk about today will just click into place. It's the foundation for every single letter you'll ever write to them. Okay, tattoo this on your brain for the exam. A debenture holder is a creditor. That's it. They're not an owner like a shareholder who's bought into the company's future. Nope, they are lenders. They've given the company a loan and they expect to be paid back. And that simple fact changes everything. It's why your communication can't be casual. It has to be formal. It has to be precise. You're not talking to a partner. You're corresponding with a lender, plain and simple. All right, so before you even think about putting pen to paper or, fingers to keyboard, there's a set of golden rules every company secretary lives by. If you master these, you'll make sure every single piece of communication is professional, legally airtight, and really protects the company's image. Think of these as your checklist before you hit send. They kind of fall into two buckets, right? First, you've got clarity and correctness. That means being concise, getting your facts 100% accurate, and being transparent. No fluff. Then you've got the professional side of things, being polite, getting back to people quickly, keeping confidential information, confidential, and making sure everything you do lines up with the company's Act of 2013. Nail these, and you're not just doing your job, you're building and protecting the company's reputation. And I want to double-click on that politeness point for a second. It's so easy to just gloss over it as be nice. But for an exam, you need to know it's way deeper than that. This isn't just about good manners. It's a professional requirement. Remember, you're talking to the company's creditors, the people who've loaned it money. Every single word you write is a reflection of the company's professionalism and its respect for that financial relationship. Okay, time to get into the real-world stuff. Our first key document is the allotment letter. This is a big one. It's the very first official piece of paper a debenture holder gets from you after their application is approved. It really sets the tone for everything that follows. So what's the big deal with this letter? Well, it's not just a, "Hey, you got in" notification. It's a legally significant document. This letter is the official proof that the company now owes this person money. It's the starting pistol for the company's formal obligation. You could say the entire relationship is built on the foundation of what's in this letter. And here is a perfect example of what needs to be in there. For your exam, this table is gold. Look at the level of detail. You've got the folio number. That's for your records. You've got the exact number of debentures allotted. And see those distinctive numbers? Think of them like serial numbers for each debenture. Every single piece of data has to be perfect. There is zero room for error here. All right, moving on to the next big responsibility, paying interest. This is so important to remember. Unlike a dividend for shareholders, which can sometimes be skipped, paying interest is not optional. It's a legal debt. It has to be paid. That means the communication around these payments has to be absolutely flawless. Now, this is a classic exam topic. How is the interest actually paid? You've got two main ways. The old school method is the interest warrant, which, let's be honest, it's just a fancy name for a physical check they have to take to the bank. Then you've got the modern, much easier way, electronic transfer. That just zaps the money directly into their bank account. So you've got slow and manual versus fast and secure. You need to know both. And again, just like with the allotment letter, the details in the payment communication are critical. You have to break it down for them. Here's the total gross interest you've earned, here's any tax we had to deduct at the source or TDS, and here's the final net amount that's hitting your account. This kind of transparency isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential for keeping that creditor's trust. Okay, so what happens at the end of a debenture's life? Well, it reaches the end of the road in one of two ways. Either it gets converted into company shares, or it's redeemed. And redeemed is just a formal way of saying the company pays back the original loan amount in full.
And you have to understand that these are two totally different paths. Conversion is a huge deal. It's a transformation. The person goes from being a lender to being an owner. A creditor becomes a shareholder. Redemption, though, is the end of the story. The company pays back the loan, and the relationship is over. And for both of these major events, you guessed it, a formal letter is absolutely required.
So for conversion, the letter needs to be crystal clear. There can be no ambiguity. You have to state exactly how many debentures are being exchanged for exactly how many new equity shares. You provide the new share certificate number, and, this part is super important, you have to make it explicitly clear that their old debenture certificate is now void.
Okay, pop quiz time. This is a classic exam question. Imagine you're drafting that redemption letter. The company is ready to pay back the loan. What one crucial thing do you have to ask the debenture holder to send back to you before you can release the funds?
And the answer is the original debenture certificate, along with a completed redemption form. You've got to get that original certificate back. Why? Because the company needs that physical document to officially cancel the debt on its books. It's the final piece of the puzzle.
All right, let's bring it all home with a final review. We've covered a lot, so let's boil it down to the absolute must-know points for your exam. This is the stuff you really need to have locked in.
So here it is, your final checklist. Point 1, and it's the big one, debenture holder equals creditor. Point 2, formality and precision are your best friends. Point 3, know those 4 key letter types inside and out: allotment, interest, conversion, redemption. Point 4, be ready to list the key details for each of those letters. And finally, point 5, understand the practical difference between an interest warrant and an electronic transfer. If you've got these 5 things down cold, you're ready.
And hey, as you're studying, just remember this one last thing. This whole topic, it's more than just memorizing formats to pass a test. It's really about a core business principle. Clear, professional, and honest communication is how you build trust. And that trust, that's what allows a company to get the financing it needs to grow. It's that important. All right, that's it for us. Now go ace that exam.